There is a strange and holy pattern to the way God works, one that often escapes the attention of hurried souls. He does not shout when he begins a mighty work. He does not light the skies with signs or send trumpets to announce what he is doing in your life. Rather, he draws the curtains closed and begins in silence, in the hidden places, away from the gaze of the crowd, far from applause and recognition. He starts to shape a soul. The world often mistakes silence for absence, obscurity for insignificance, delay for denial. But with God, these are the wombs of his greatest miracles, for it is in the wilderness, not the palace, that kings are formed. It is in solitude, not the stage, that strength is built. And it is in the quiet struggles that no one sees, where God prepares his chosen ones for the blessings that will one day be too large to remain private. Consider the grain buried in the earth. It lies in darkness, unknown, unmoved by the world above. But beneath the soil, a holy transformation is taking place. Roots begin to stretch, life begins to stir, and in time the seed breaks open, not to destroy it, but to release its purpose. So too are you buried, perhaps not in soil, but in seasons of isolation, of waiting, of being misunderstood. And if you listen, not with your ears, but with your spirit, you will hear the hush of divine preparation. God does not waste hiddenness. He does not use silence as a punishment, but as a workshop. And what he forges in the secret places is always forged with fire and intention. He strips away pride that would ruin you later. He removes dependencies that would sabotage your assignment. He teaches you to trust not in results, not in recognition, but in the one who calls you by name. And though it may feel as if nothing is happening, rest assured. Your Father is moving. Heaven has not forgotten you. He is ordering your steps, preparing opportunities, building stamina in your spirit. You may be unseen by men, but you are observed by angels, and the day is coming, oh yes, it is coming, when he will open the curtain and reveal what he has built in you. And when he does, you will not step into the light as a stranger to the weight of glory, but as one who has been trained in the fire. Your voice will carry not noise, but truth. Your hands will bear not entitlement, but scars from obedience. And the blessings that come will not crush you, because the roots beneath have grown deep enough to hold the weight. So if you find yourself in a hidden season, do not despise it. Lean into it. Ask not, when will I be seen? But what are you showing me here, Lord? Let patience have its perfect work. Let character be built. Let intimacy with God deepen, because what he is preparing in you is not just for you. It is for those who will be blessed through your obedience. Public blessings require private altars, and only those who have wrestled with God in the dark can walk confidently with him in the daylight. Do not rush out of the shadows. God is doing something far more eternal than you yet realize. He is preparing you for a moment that only he can ordain, for a purpose that only he can fulfill. And when the time is right, the world will see not merely a person, but the fingerprint of God upon a life faithfully shaped in secret. God uses hidden seasons to build strength, character, and purpose that cannot be developed in public. There is a sacred work that takes place in the unseen, a holy refining that occurs when the spotlight is gone and the noise of the world is muted. In these seasons, where recognition is absent and affirmation is scarce, God begins to lay a foundation not built on applause, but on authenticity. He removes distractions not to punish but to focus the soul. It is in these private chambers of life where God confronts the brokenness we hide, the fears we mask, and the pride that lingers beneath our good intentions. He begins to chisel away what doesn't belong and shapes what must remain for the weight of the calling that is yet to come. Strength developed in secret is the kind that lasts. It is not the strength of personality or charisma, but of quiet resolve and spiritual depth. In the hidden place, God teaches endurance. He allows pressure not to crush, but to produce perseverance. It is here that the soul learns to walk without needing to be seen, to trust without visible proof, to believe without the evidence of success. This kind of strength is different from worldly strength. It is not loud or boastful, but still and unshakable. It holds fast through storms and remains steady when everything external changes. Character is likewise not built in the crowd, but in the cave. It is formed when no one is looking, in the decisions made when the consequences are internal and spiritual rather than visible and immediate. God watches how we handle the little things before entrusting us with more. Do we act with integrity when there's no reward? Do we obey when no one is watching? Do we stay faithful when the results are invisible? In private seasons, God is not only watching, He is training. He is growing the kind of moral and spiritual fortitude that will not crumble under the weight of blessing, because blessings can be burdens if received too soon. Success can destroy what hasn't been built on humility. So God, in His mercy, delays public promotion until private character is ready. Purpose is also revealed in the quiet. When we are pulled from the noise and distraction of external validation, we are able to hear the whisper of divine purpose more clearly. Sometimes we cannot discover what we are meant to do until all the other voices fade. In hidden seasons, God often redefines our understanding of calling. What we thought we wanted is exchanged for what He has truly designed us to carry. This clarity doesn't come in the crowd. It is born through communion, through prayer, through stillness. When we are hidden, we are positioned for revelation. God uses the quiet times not to isolate but to align, to bring us into deeper awareness of who we are in Him and what He desires to do through us. What feels like delay or obscurity is often divine preparation for something greater than you can see. There are moments in life when it seems like everything is at a standstill, where progress is slow, doors are closed, and nothing seems to move forward. In these moments, it is tempting to question whether God has forgotten, whether the promise still stands, or whether we missed our opportunity. But often, the apparent stillness is not abandonment, it is strategy. God, who sees the end from the beginning, often works in ways that do not follow our timeline but align with His perfect plan. When we think things are being withheld, God is often preparing what will soon be revealed. He delays not because He is denying, but because what He is preparing requires a deeper foundation, one that cannot be rushed. If He were to open the door too soon, the blessing would either be mishandled or misunderstood. So He withholds not as punishment but as protection. He delays not to discourage but to develop. In that space of obscurity, faith is tested, endurance is stretched, and perspective is purified. We begin to desire God more than the outcome, His presence more than the promise. Obscurity, though painful, is also the proving ground of trust. It is in the shadows that true devotion is revealed. When no audience applauds and no platform is given, our motives are purified. We are no longer driven by the praise of people, but by the approval of God. He uses these unseen seasons to shift our focus from outcome to obedience, from recognition to refinement. And it is in this process that our hearts are prepared to handle what He plans to bring into the light. Many of the greatest moves of God began in the silence of delay. Before David wore a crown, he was a shepherd. Before Joseph stood in a palace, he was imprisoned. Before Moses led a nation, he wandered in the desert. The delay in each of their lives was not an indication of failure, but a divine setup for fulfillment. God does not hurry as man hurries. His delays are pregnant with purpose. What appears to be a detour is often the most direct path to destiny, one that protects us from the dangers we cannot yet perceive. During these seasons of hiddenness, we are not just waiting, we are being worked on. Something deeper is happening beneath the surface. Roots are growing, vision is maturing, identity is being shaped. God is aligning circumstances and preparing hearts ours and others for the intersection of purpose and timing. While we wait, He is weaving together details we would never imagine. He is not only preparing the blessing for us, but preparing us for the blessing. And when His timing unfolds, what once felt like a long delay will suddenly reveal itself as the necessary foundation for a blessing far beyond what we could have anticipated. Public blessings require the depth and stability formed only through private surrender and obedience. Before a tree stretches high into the sky, its roots must first grow deep into the soil. The same principle holds true for a life destined to carry the weight of divine blessing. Without inner strength and spiritual grounding, external success can easily overwhelm. God, in his wisdom, does not promote us to visibility before we are ready internally to sustain what that visibility demands. The moments we spend in hiddenness, surrendering our will, yielding our pride, and walking in quiet obedience are not wasted. They are vital to our ability to carry what he will eventually reveal to others. In the secret places of life, where no audience is watching and no applause is offered, God gently calls us to deeper levels of surrender. It is here, away from the crowd, that we learn to let go of control and place our trust fully in him. Surrender is not a one-time act but a daily posture, a continual laying down of self. Through this process, God begins to refine our motives. He uproots selfish ambition, exposes hidden fears, and challenges the areas where our faith is conditional. This is where obedience takes root, not because it earns us favor, but because it aligns us with the heart of the one who knows what is best for us. Obedience in private develops integrity, the kind of integrity that does not shift with circumstance or audience. When we choose to follow God's voice even when no one sees, we build a track record of trust with heaven. God begins to entrust us with more, not because we are perfect, but because we have proven faithful. He knows we will not misuse the blessing for personal gain or public approval. We become safe carriers of his glory, people who will not bend under the weight of influence because we have been shaped by humility. What many see as overnight success is often the result of years of unseen faithfulness. The world may marvel at the fruit, but it rarely sees the root system beneath. God honors what is done in secret. He sees every act of obedience, every prayer in the dark, every step of faith taken with trembling hands, and he weaves it all into a testimony that will one day be displayed, not to magnify us, but to reflect his goodness and power. When the public blessing finally comes, it will be clear that it did not come from striving, but from surrender. There is a depth that can only be forged through time spent alone with God. The spotlight may shine on the visible, but the true strength lies in what was built behind the scenes. Those who have been hidden and humbled are the ones most capable of handling public favor without being corrupted by it. They know that what matters most is not the blessing itself, but the one who gives it. They are anchored not in titles or platforms, but in the unshakable foundation of a surrendered life.